Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to another PGN Fastcast. It is Saturday, June 12th. We were able to just see the first day of E3. What a great day. What a great day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you all the highlights, everything we saw from Ubisoft to Gearbox, and a little bit of Upload VR. I'm not doing really an opinionated piece or my predictions kind of like last time, so you're not going to hear some quirky sound effects and stuff like that. That's more for the fun fast cast. This time it's just informational. I'm bringing you the content. I'm going to spitfire it. You might hear an opinion or two, but other than that, enjoy. Obviously, if you like the content, if you want to support the platform and the channel, wherever you're listening, whether it be Spotify, Amazon Music, even on YouTube, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you can to support, and I really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's dive in. We started the day, or I started rather, by watching the E3 kickoff show, and there wasn't much to commentate on for that, at least. They announced that they would be returning to Los Angeles for 2022. This is the city that's hosted E3 for over 20 years. So a big deal to kind of get that feeling of normality, full normality coming back next year, which is great. So we will see Los Angeles host E3 next year, and it'll kind of feel good, feel normal. But other than that, we kind of hop into the Ubisoft Forward kickoff show, and the kickoff show is a little boring, right? They don't want to give you too much to really feed off of. They want to save that for the main squeeze. However, they did show a few little trailers. They did show a lot of clips of characters and vehicles, other mechanics within their video games going forward, just driving in a straight line, which I'm assuming is a play on the name of their conference being Ubisoft Forward, but I digress. But the first thing we saw during their kickoff was a Mirage, a trailer for Mirage, which is an expansion or really a chapter in the next season for the For Honor series, which is a generally medieval fighting combat game, which starts soon, Mirage being the trailer for that. So we got to see what the next content's going to look like for that. Ubisoft took the opportunity to talk about advancements that they're making in their video games, options that they're giving players who are playing, and how they're really expanding their industry so that they can make better games. They kind of went on a little bit of a deep dive there. And then they took the time to highlight the details and other items behind the scenes for the creation of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which obviously is one of their more popular Assassin's Creed games. So we got to really see the thought process and some of the decision making behind Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There was a little bit of a show, I would say not even a show, but there was 3 indie games that were brought up and shown, and a small showcase of them. One of them being Dwarf Romantic, which is like a tile placement town building game. It's very chill, very laid back, a fun little game, but they also said there is a more strategic and strategy mode if you want a little bit of a competitive feel to the game. Other than that, there was Bravery Network Online for another game, and then You Suck at Parking, and that kind of rounded up their indie games that they showcased. The Crew 2, which is a racing game with a racing community game, was shown as they enter their 4th year of content. They stated that they would be expanding to the East Coast, an East Coast type of expansion with Florida and Daytona, New York, cities and areas like that to open up their racing game and the field even more. So, and then Watch Dogs Legion, which I'm surprised they did recap on this during the Ubisoft Forward event itself, but Watch Dogs Legion is coming out with new content. It's called Bloodline, and Adam Pearce returns. He's a lovable character from the main character, really, from the early games. So he comes back as a character in Bloodline, and you're really fighting against an enemy who wants control of these killer robots, from what we can tell. Go watch the trailer if you haven't seen it. Bloodline for Watch Dogs Legion. I think it's going to bring a lot of people back into the game. Very good. Very good. But that was really their Ubisoft kickoff, their forward kickoff event. They highlighted a few things. They gave us a taste of a few items. Small trailers, but nothing significant. But I do want to say, once we got into the Ubisoft Forward event itself, we got some good content. We had some really good content. So they started off Ubisoft Forward strong, like I was saying. They have the Rainbow Six Extraction they announced for September 16th of 2021. It's a 1 to 3 player co-op experience where you're working as a team. Instead of working against each other and fighting each other, you're working as a team against a new alien enemy that's spreading. You're going to see new abilities and tech, newer from other Rainbow Six titles, so we get kind of a refresher on that. And it just gives you this high risk, high reward type feel in these contamination zones, right? You go in, you unlock new tech, new intel, you need to choose to get out, but if you die while you're in there, your character that you're playing goes MIA. They're missing. So it's really interesting. And then other players have to go in and rescue you, or you can't play as that character until they're rescued because they're MIA. It's such an in-depth game, and the reveal of the enemies that you're going to face made it look super challenging, but in the best way possible. After that, we saw Rocksmith Plus, which there's a beta that's going to be available today, starting today. And it looks like they use technology from your phone, your PC. There's a general program that integrates to listen and learn from the notes that you're playing, and it assists you with learning and perfecting your craft. This is a subscription service that Rocksmith is offering, and Ubisoft is offering, where you can really learn to play the guitar at your own pace. So that was really cool to see. It was very nice to see that anyone can pick up a guitar, and no matter what level you're at, you're going to be able to learn. We saw Riders Republic, announced for September 2nd of this year, and they showed off Riders Ridge, which is like the social hub, the social area where everybody gathers, it looks like. And this is really a game for thrill seekers. Thrill seekers, rather. There was all kinds of ultimate sports that we saw shown off here. Snowboarding, mountain biking, paragliding. There was like rocket flying, just skiing, everything. It looked like a wild extreme sports race, competition, trick showing type of game. Looks amazing. Going to be out this September. Other than that, you had Rainbow Six Siege shown off, which is obviously out there for us already. We were just told that they're going to be adding crossplay between PC, Stadia, and Luna. And then in the future, PlayStation and Xbox are going to get their versions of crossplay. So that's cool. Crossplay, integrating that into the gaming community seems super important. Bringing people together. No console wars. No, my console's better than your console. None of that stuff. Just bring everybody together, no matter where you're playing. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. And then we saw Just Dance 2022 announced. They had a special celebrity. Did not take down that information. I'm not a huge Just Dance fan. I feel like the time of the Nintendo Wii and all that stuff and the integration of movement has really died down. But I understand it's popular. It's a great game for kids, for families to play together. And I'm not trying to be a complete hater. We will see it November 4th this year. A new Just Dance coming out, so keep a lookout for that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it has a new expansion coming this summer, and it's the Siege of Paris. This is the first time Ubisoft is supporting a second year of an Assassin's Creed game, so that's a huge deal. They are telling us there's so much more to come for this Assassin's Creed game, and I think it's a beautiful world that they've created. So take advantage of that. There's no reason to go back, right? There's no need to throw another Assassin's Creed down our throat. When this one's doing so well, continue to build on that. You're going to make your fan base a lot more happy. To sidestep, we were able to see a TV series update for all the series that Ubisoft is doing with Apple TV and Netflix. There was a new Werewolves Within show that was shown. It was like a dark comedy. It looked hilarious. Great trailer. Go check that out. We kind of used that as like a little segue off of the main show, and then we stepped right into it on the deep end. The last three games are obviously what we want to talk about, right? Far Cry 6, we had an in-depth look into Antoine Castillo. He is the villain of the new Far Cry game. And the scene that they showed you gave you a true reason to hate this guy. He went on the whole metaphor of catching fish and sending them back that he went through with his father. He found his son on this ship full of refugees, it appeared. And then it sounds like he massacred them all. You don't really know. The lights go out. It's a very dark gameplay clip, really showing you another layer to the antagonist. And worth watching, worth going to see. And other than that, we got a clip of a new gameplay mode for Far Cry where you get to play as the villains, famous villains from Far Cry's past. Looked really trippy. You're like in their minds. It's so crazy what they're trying to add to these games, trying to keep us involved, and it's nice to have an opportunity to play from the other side. Really dark, but really cool. A relationship that I love to see continue is the relationship between Mario and Rabbids, right? Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope was announced for 2022. More of a strategy turn-based game with firepower and guns, but comical. Okay, it looked great. It's the predecessor to Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle that we all saw on the Switch early in the Switch lifetime. So pretty cool that they're going to continue to build upon that and release another game. If you love that strategy, that turn-based feel, type of game for you, absolutely. But to drop the bomb on their whole conference when you think it's over, and it was 4 o'clock, so I thought it was over. The president of Ubisoft comes out to announce Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora for 2022. This game looked beautiful. It took us to the world and the lands that we saw in the Avatar movie, and we've previously been by watching that movie. I have no idea what this game's going to entail, and what we're going to see, and how. I'm assuming it's going to be open world. It's gorgeous, and if your face was not at least smiling a little bit when you saw that, there's something wrong with you. Go get checked out. Go get looked at. And if you haven't seen this, go find it. Go find it, seriously. That rounded out Ubisoft, and that was the best way to end it. So smart. Couple of surprises. Mario Rabbids, and then Avatar. That's how you know E3's back. When you're getting these surprises, when you're getting these little like, oh my god, that's when it feels, you get the chills and you're like, E3's back. And it felt good to have those. So that rounded out Ubisoft for us. I couldn't be happier. All in all, they did decent. They did better than I thought they would. Of course, I would have loved to see some Prince of Persia, which we knew wasn't going to be there. I would love to see some Division stuff. A little unfortunate there. But we're going to take what we were fed today, and we're going to eat it well. So, on to that, we're going to launch to Gearbox. Not much to speak about for Gearbox. Very predictable. They started off on the set of their Borderlands movie, gave us a nice tour, and that's also how they wrapped up the conference with some Kevin Hart action. We get to see him talk and banter, and always a good time. I find Kevin Hart quite comical. But they were very much toting this movie, this Borderlands movie, which is going to be awesome. And then outside of that, we saw the same trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which again will be coming out early 2022. It's great. It's a looter shooter in a fantasy world. We got to see some introduction to enemies like dragons and goblins. I mean, if you're a Borderlands lover, you're going to love this game. If you've never played Borderlands, you'll be able to easily jump into this game. They keep stressing that. I think they want to make sure that the world knows you don't have to have played Borderlands to understand and get into this game, which is great. It's comforting. It's comforting to know. Homeworld 3, they announced, was in development. A game that I honestly know very little about, being the Homeworld's the first game or the second one, so I'm not going to speak much of that. They just kept circling back around to that, so apparently it's important, but we didn't see much of it other than the announcement and a few little blips of thoughts throughout, but nothing important. A game that surprised me was actually Tribes of Midgard. I saw this at Summer Game Fest. Okay, I did not choose to bring it up at my last Fastcast that we uploaded yesterday. It didn't feel. I don't know. I wanted to keep it shorter, even though it was over 25 minutes. But I also wanted to limit what I was talking about. It looked cool. It was on my list. I struck it out right at the end. It's worth bringing up today. Tribes of Midgard. It's a Viking-inspired RPG adventure game. There's building of structures and defenses. There's massive giant bosses. There's that loot grind and dungeon crawling. It's a beautiful game. It's got the Gearbox style all over it. Very enjoyable experience. And honestly, one of the top announcements at their conference today. Because, I mean, that game comes out July 27th. Out of everything that we saw today, that's the only thing I can get this year, right? Tiny Tina's Wonderlands isn't coming till early 2022. Borderlands movie, do we even have a release date yet because of the chaos in the world? So, in Homeworld 3, we just kept seeing little, clips, but we didn't really understand what we were looking at. So, Tribes of Midgard, worth getting excited about, and honestly, it's the only thing you can get your hands on this year. Lastly being Godfall. That came out on PS5. We have Godfall on PS5, next-gen consoles. Looks great. I don't think it got really the excitement and the following that it deserves. I enjoyed it. I did play it a little bit, and I thought it was fun. But Godfall is now going to be launching on the PS4, and also we're going to be getting some new expansion content that's coming with new gear and weapons and just, reasons to keep the game fresh. You're going to be transferring to another console. You got to freshen up the game as well. Really brings you back for more. And that rounded it out for Gearbox. Like I said, they ended it on the same movie set that they started it on. It was great. It was fun. And you don't get to see a lot from Gearbox like that in a conference setting. So I think with the time that they had, it was short. It's very short, but they did well. They did very good. So Gearbox did decent as well. There was also an Upload VR showcase showing new VR games. What's going to be coming to the VR world. We know VR is an industry that just needs to continue to grow, and hopefully it will. Not much to comment on there. I would say go check it out if you want to watch it. I didn't put much attention into it, honestly. However, VR is great. Oculus and all of that technology, and I think it is going to continue to grow and get bigger. So VR is the way of the future, whether it be 5 years from now or 10 years from now. But that being said, that was really today's conference. Now, I want to round it out and really end it by choosing my game of the day, right? But that's hard for me to do. I think there's two to mention, okay? So, for me, I would say Rainbow Six Extraction looks great. Looks like a great game, a fun game. The layers of just gambling, right, and panic and going in and trying to go deeper into these extraction zones and get better intel and all of that and increase your character's effectiveness, but also the chance that you may die and lose that character until you can recover them. It's such a great feeling of excitement that I can't wait to play. And then, of course, the other one being Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Not a game that we're going to have this year, but I think that's the excitement that the Avatar series needed. We knew it was a thing. I just don't think any of us expected it to be shown or even hinted at this year. Maybe next year, but definitely not this year. So, for that reason, very exciting. But that was it for today. That was it for the first day of E3. It was a great way to get our feet wet. Sure, there could have been more excitement. There could have been more shown. But I enjoyed what we did see. I'm grateful to even have E3 this year. Tomorrow, there's so much to be excited for. We've got the Xbox and Bethesda. We've got Square Enix. A couple other smaller industries. I will be following it all. I will be doing updates throughout the day. And of course, you're going to get a fast cast from me at the end of the day. A lot of times when I'm listing these off to you and I'm telling you to go watch the trailer, go look at it now. What are you, crazy? Go see this. I'm telling you this because I also want you to go look at these trailers, right? These are great trailers that they put together to showcase their games to us. And if you don't know where to find them, I know what you're going to do. You're going to go to YouTube. You're going to search it. Don't. Time out, homie. You're listening to my podcast here, Pixel Gaming Network. I'm telling you, go to Facebook, search Pixel Gaming Network. You're going to find my page. Guess what? Slap that like button. If you're feeling even fruitier, slap that follow button. Every single one of these trailers that were shown today, every single one of them has been posted on my page for you to see in all of their glory. So when I'm telling you to go look at a trailer, I'm asking politely, head over to our page, look for the trailer that was posted, watch it, enjoy it, see why I'm so happy about it, comment if you want, But as always, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate the support for PGN, the Pixel Gaming Network. If you enjoy what you're listening to, if you enjoy my crackly voice for some reason, subscribe, like, follow, wherever you're listening. The support is massive, massive. And as always, I'll be back tomorrow as we continue to cover E3. Tomorrow's going to be a huge day. A huge day. This looks like it's running at about 21 minutes. Tomorrow's podcast is probably going to be close to the 30-minute mark with all the good stuff we're going to see. But other than that, you guys take care. You have an amazing evening, and keep it fresh.